Welcome back to Family Investment. Today I want to address the issue about ARK INVEST ETF on eToro. A lot of viewers are confused after I released the video, and I personally have invested ARK INVEST ETFs, all three vehicles on eToro, but there have been loads of confusion about whether you're actually owning the ETF or you're actually dealing with CFD. And today I want to clear this out to give you guys a sense of information so that you can make a decision if you're willing to invest or not invest. Because in the UK and also many countries in Europe, we cannot get this ETF on our broker, and eToro is the only person that can do it. So in this video today, there will be three parts of the video. So the first one will be explaining how this works on eToro. How can it possibly only work on eToro but nobody else? And second is how to buy them on ETF correctly, owning the underlying assets correctly. And finally, the third one is how to check if you have already bought an existing, whether it's been ETF or CFD. Is eToro possibly having ARK Invest on the system, on the portfolio? Why everyone else doesn't do it? It's because they're using the CFD vehicle. Yes, they're using the CFD vehicle to help you own the underlying asset. But if you do it correctly, you're not actually buying on the CFD terms, but you're owning the asset, buying the ETF and track it against the performance of the ETF without paying the fees. The difference is ETF is basically you buying an index tracker. You do not own all the assets, but you own the underlying assets as an index, as a collective index. That's what ETF is for. For example, on Tesla, on Square, you don't actually own them, even though you buy it directly from Katie Wood of ARK Invest. You own the vehicle as an index alone, and you track the performance. And if ARK Invest does any option trade or any swing trade and they make profit, that will grow in the amount. That's what is called active investment ETF. That's what Katie Wood and the team are doing, and that's what this ETF does. But what is this CFD then? What's CFD for it? So CFD is contract for difference. What you buy is buying on leverage. You can leverage a 2, 3, 4, 20, 50. You can leverage the ETF. If they make gains, you make multipliers. If they lose gain, you lose multipliers. So that's why many viewers are worried that if they're buying on CFD, they might be paying overnight fees, leverage tools that potentially could pull you down really badly. So I want to address this. So all I just want to clear out is if you buy it correctly, you own the ETF as an underlying asset. But if you buy on a CFD vehicle, you buy on a CFD and you have to pay for the fees. But if you buy the ETF or any other ETF besides ARK Invest, do you make dividends? Yes, you still get the dividends if you buy the ETF. You're actually owning the underlying asset. It's clearly stated on the eToro. You don't own directly the assets, but you own that index to the ETF, as I mentioned many times. And buying on eToro is all commission free. You could buy on a different platform like Robinhood, you will pay a substantial fee. But if you track it on this CFD vehicle, but not actually on CFD, just own the underlying assets, you do not pay. It's contracted as eToro, it's commission free. But if you own it on the CFD platform, if you own it on the CFD vehicle, you have to pay overnight fees, you have to pay weekend fees, you have to pay on the leverage, you've got also your margin account against you. So it's a whole complicated, more experienced trader vehicles to be used. So now how do you buy it correctly? Okay, let me step by step show you how to buy it correctly. So to buy this ETF on ARK Invest correctly, you have to go and click on the ETF or ARKK, for example. Click on ARKK, click on buy. So you only can do that when the market opens. You cannot try to do it when before the market opens, but I prefer you to do it when the market opens. So when the market's open, you buy, you click on it, and make sure you click on the top trade, click on it, bring the banner down and click on orders. Okay, put on orders, and then on the order put in the set amount that you like, 100, 200, 300, 1000, 2000. Once that is all done, then click set to buy. Just wait for the time to link in the queue, and then that's it. You bought it and that's done. But the only way to do it wrong, if you bought it on trade and put it on the leverage X2 or X3, that is when you do it wrongly. That's when you buy on a CFD. Now the confusion comes in. The confusion comes in when you buy it, you go in your portfolio and you look when you bought it and there's a word that says CFD, that's what worries many people. I've spoken to eToro, there's nothing much they can do, but just there's a double checking feature to show that you're not buying on CFD. Okay, now I'm coming to point number 3, to check how you have bought it correctly. Like I said previously, don't worry about the sticker CFD. If you bought it right, it would still say CFD even though you bought the underlying assets of the ETF. I've got it on my own, but mine is definitely only underlying assets. So the only way to check it is to go to options to see if you're on leverage X1. If you're on leverage X1, you are fine. If you see an X2, X3 or X10, that means you accidentally bought in a CFD when you're not intending to buy in a CFD. Maybe perhaps you should kill that fun, kill the fear and move on to properly winning the underlying asset. And also, if you are still worried that the CFD stickers that you're not entirely sure, you can go in deeper. Okay, you can go in deeper by going to the history. So up here, you can go to the history, click on the history. When you click on the history, go all the way to the far right and click on statement, account statement, click on it, and then extend the time when you bought it and when you download the PDF version. Control Find, click on fees, FEES. So if you bought it for several days, you should have been charged overnight fees. Check how much fees you've been buying on ARK Invest. If there's no fees, then that's fine. You are actually owning the underlying asset of the ETF. But if you're paying fees, there's something is wrong then. That means you accidentally bought it on CFD, contract for difference, and maybe perhaps you need to amend it. You need to cancel the trade and then perhaps buy it properly and make sure you do it correctly. Okay, so I hope this addressed everybody's inquiry and everybody's concern that you're buying ETF or is it actually CFD. Yes, there's a bit of confusion, but I hope these 3 steps, these 3 segments that I've explained help you guys ease and make you relax and then progress further for your investment journey. So I hope this helps you today.
Alright, before I say goodbye, please do like and subscribe on my YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook, and if you want, support me on Patreon as well, so I can produce content like this every single day for you guys, to give you guys value. So please do share this video to help us grow our YouTube channel, yeah? Alright guys, 3, 2, 1, bye bye!